What's shaking, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Shay, and today is the start of a reading vlog. Yes, I'm going to be vlogging again in the month of April, and I'm excited about it. So I have a few more days left in the month of March, but I'm ready to leave March behind because it wasn't the best reading month for me. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to my April TBR, even though I have a few more days left in March. And so to make this exciting, I will link the video of my April TBR jars up here somewhere, and so you can watch it. And what I've decided to do is put all of those books in a wheel along with a few more sequels that I need to get to, and I'm going to spin the wheel throughout the month to see what I'm going to read. Now, I only hold myself accountable to reading one book from each jar. So if I spin and land on one of the two books I landed on my own jar, I will read that book and then I will take the other book off of the spinner wheel, just because for the sake of this month, I don't think I can get to 5,000 books. Okay, so one book for each jar. We're still doing that, and I do have some other things in the spinner wheel. But we are going to pull up the wheel. I have this pretty wheel here. I don't know if you can see. Let me get close. Let me see if it will focus. Okay, so it's kind of focused. It's kind of small. We're just gonna roll with this. We're gonna see what I get. What does that say? Okay, it has done me dirty. Do you see this? So this is the Shadow Rising. This is huge. So April is coming for me, but this is the fourth book in the Wheel of Time series that I need to get to, and it's one of the sequels that I've been like putting off because of the length of it. It's like 900 pages, something of the sort. I'm terrified. So I know that this will probably take me a good bit of time to get through, to be quite honest with you, but I am down for the challenge. So I will start to read this and tell you my thoughts when I get a little bit further in. This is boding well for April, I just tell you. My house is legitimately a wreck right now, so please excuse this, but I finished reading The Shadow Rising. This is 900 something pages, and it took me forever to read because I started it in March. So I started it up the last week of March. It's now April the 3rd. I'm just saying it took me a week or more to read this. And I think that I enjoyed this one less than the rest, and because this book felt 900 something pages. The rest of them are not as long. They're not 900 something pages, but they are long. But I was immersed into the story. And this book just felt like there was a lot of stuff that could have been cut out. So this probably could have been cut in half, and we would have still gotten the same story. So again, Robert Jordan loves to kind of describe everything. He describes every single room a person walks in. He describes every outfit that somebody has on. And it can be a little much. So he definitely needed an editor, and I know it's just going to get worse as the series goes on, as we know from the slog and whatever else. But this book actually is a lot of people's favorite book, and it's not my favorite book. I'm going to give it 4 stars because I still think that it was good, and I liked the character work. I just feel like it could have been edited. My favorite arc in this story was Perrin's arc. I really enjoyed hearing about him, and he was, I think, took up majority of the book, so therefore majority of the time I was having a great time. That means that it's time to pick another book. Let me get here to my wheel and let me take off the Shadow Rising. So we have our wheel, and I don't know if y'all can see this. Oh, horror movie. So this is How to Make a Horror Movie or Die Trying, and I don't think that this book is out yet. Hold please. I don't know why I was thinking that this book just came out and it was a new release, but it's not. It came out last year. And so I'm going to read it. This is the one that does not have good reviews. Okay, so I made a quick decision not to read the book because, number one, the more I thought about it, the more I'm just not interested in reading this anymore. I have, again, read that book by Craig DeLuey and gave it 3 stars, the one previous that I read by him, and this one has literally an average of 3.3 stars on Goodreads, which sometimes is not bad for me, but in order to access this book, I would have to buy it, and I just am not interested in buying the book on audio, so I am going to pass on that for now. I'm going to keep Asunder on the wheel, and we're going to spin again. Okay, I hope y'all can see this. Tunnel of Bones. I am not doing so well about reading books from the TBR. So this is Tunnel of Bones. This is the second book in the Cassidy Blake series that is by Victoria Schwab. This is her middle grade horror kind of story. I read the first one, was it last month? Was it last month or February? I think it was February. And liked it. So this is one I put on here for another series that I need to continue on hitting some goals. So we are going to go do that. I think I can find this one on audio. Again, though, I really am pleased with this pick because I needed something, again, a little bit faster paced since we just got done reading 900 something pages of The Wheel of Time. So I will check back in when I get into the book. All right. So I have finished Tunnel of Bones, which is the second book in the Cassidy Blake series by Victoria Schwab. I enjoyed my time with this. I liked the first one better, but I really enjoyed this second one as well. This series is following our main character who can see ghosts and kind of interact with the veil, the ghost world and the regular world, and her parents are these paranormal kind of ghost hunters. In the first book, they have no idea that Cassidy can see ghosts, and so they take her along for her adventures and of course to some haunted cities, and she gets into some hijinks and she learns things that help her with her ghost issues. Overall, I still gave this one 4 stars. I think it's great for that middle grade student. It's the perfect length, and I think it will keep a middle grader engaged. And so now it's time to spin again for my next book. I have taken Tunnel of Bones off of the wheel. Let's see if we can get it to focus here. And we're gonna go ahead and spin this. Okay, this is The Wolf in the Whale. So I pulled this one out of my owned jar. It is somewhere up there. I will grab it. I will try to read it. This is more of, I think, a literary fantasy. It's a chunky little boy, so we'll see how that goes. But I've owned this one for a long time, and I'm happy to get it off the TBR. So I will check in when I get some into this one and tell you my thoughts and my feelings. Okay, so I am about 60-ish% through The Wolf in the Whale, and I have very mixed feelings on this book. I really liked the first half of the book, the coming of age portion of the book, because that's like what I like. I like coming of age stories, but as we get away from the actual coming of age portion of it, I am finding it difficult to like the new characters that have been introduced. So this story starts out with our main character being born. Her father dies before childbirth and her mother dies in childbirth. She is born into the Inuit culture, and in the Inuit culture they believe in reincarnation and having somebody else's soul in their body. And so she is reincarnated as her dad. So her grandfather raises her as his son. So in the village, she's doing things that boys would do even though she's a girl. And so that is a lot of the story in coming of age, as her kind of suppressing the girl side of her, and are the Inuit gods going to be favorable upon her because technically she's not a man, she's a girl. And that part is interesting, and they're living at the literal edge of the earth in this cold, very cold climate, and trying to survive, trying to get enough food. And not only that, but they're dying out because there's not enough men and women to go around to create new children. So that part was super, super interesting to me. And then one day they meet some outsiders and things happen, and she is taken away from her camp. And from the time that she's taken away from her camp, that's kind of where it lost it for me, because we went in a totally different direction. She winds up meeting a Viking, and so this story kind of is like where Inuit culture collides with Norse culture. And so I don't know. I liked the beginning. I'm trying to find my way in the second half. I will say that there's a ton of trigger warnings to this book. This book is very dark. We have animal death. We have infant child death. We have a lot of gory scenes. So we have rape. So if this is not something, if you have a lot of trigger warnings, I definitely would probably stay clear of this book. I do think that these things are done well, if you can describe that as being done well. But I still, it was, some portions of this book were very hard for me to read, and I normally don't get bothered by certain triggers. So it's an experience, I will say that. So I am hoping to finish this book maybe tomorrow, and then I'll pop back in with my final thoughts. I don't know what to expect from this book going forward, to be quite honest with you. So I will be interested to see what happens, and I will check in when I get done. Okay, so I finished The Wolf and the Whale, and my thoughts really didn't change on this book. I can see why a lot of people love this book. I think the hang up for me is that I'm not really into mythology and, you know, Vikings. Of course, I love to watch it on TV, but I am not really into the Norse mythology books. Really, it doesn't interest me. But also, this book just, again, I'm gonna tell you to check your trigger warnings, because this has a lot of triggers. So check them. There was something off about the conversation of being non-binary, not a man, not a woman. Something was missing in that conversation, in those lessons, and for me. So I ended up giving this one 3 stars, but happy to have it off the TBR. So that's going to be it for this week. Tune into next week's vlog if you want to see what I read next.